This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for this Friday, October 21st. This will be the last fire potential briefing. We will resume our normal off-season smoke dispersion briefings on Mondays and Fridays beginning this Monday, October 24th. Looking at our significant impacts, none for highlighting. We will be looking at a warming and drying trend. And by Sunday, across southern areas of Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip, we could see wind gusts of 30-35 miles per hour, along with humidity in the teens. However, that will be quickly followed by some precipitation. So if there's any concerns, it probably would be for either late Saturday or late Sunday before we see a cooler and moistening pattern as we go into next week for all areas. Past 24 hours, no significant precipitation on the left-hand side for our area, nor any lightning. Ironically, up in the Pacific Northwest is where they've had abundant lightning, which is irrelevant for fire this time of year. And observed precipitation because of that multitude of storm systems passing through. They've had monster rainfall amounts here in the Pacific Northwest, upwards of 6, 8, 10 inches. But you can see across our area, our northern half has been quite wet. Areas shaded in the green are a ½ to an inch of precipitation for both the past 7 and past 14 days. But you also notice both in the past 7 and 14 days dry across the southern half of Nevada, southern half of Utah, and the Arizona Strip as well. So some of those dormant fuels could be a concern. We don't see that much concern on the ERC charts, and keep in mind that ERCs also include the heavier 1,000-hour fuels as part of their component. However, given the dormant brush, our lighter fuels, which can respond to a quick week or two of dryness, you can see especially in the 10-hour shades here on the left-hand side in the red, values of about 3 to 4%. So in these areas shaded in red, we could see, if there's an ignition and wind, fire in the grass and brush could still have some spread. And even the 100-hour fuels, which correlate well with brush, this goldish shade through here are values below 10, 6 to 10. So even in those areas, there could be some concern if the winds and humidity do line up. So taking a look at our satellite imagery, we can see that we have high pressure over this Four Corners area. We have low pressure across the Midwest and another deep low well up into the Pacific Northwest. And this high is going to dominate in the short term with a warming and drying trend the next couple of days. But eventually this high shifts to the east. This low will drop down and help pull some of this moisture in Mexico further north, which will eventually bring some rain to our southern areas of Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip, where our fuels are currently the dry. So looking at the weather map for today, this afternoon, you see high pressure ridge slides to our east. We still are in a dry air mass given by the tannish shades, our fire potential on the right-hand side. You see a bit of dryness in the southern third of our area. In terms of weather conditions, we do expect to see low humidity in the single digits to teens across southern Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip. Winds starting to pick up this afternoon out of the south, dark green to orange shades, or anywhere from about 20 to 30 miles per hour. Elsewhere, though, winds should be significantly lighter. On Saturday, we do notice southwest flow tightening up. There's a storm system off the map and starting to tighten up that southwest flow. We are also seeing some moisture being pulled up from the south from Mexico, but still dry, and the wind should start increasing a little bit through here. If we look at the winds through here, you can see the dark green through orange shades, more so in Utah, gusts in the 25 to 30 mile an hour range, whereas humidity will be in the teens and in the single digits. Going one more day into Sunday, you see a huge storm system pushing on in through here. Lots of moisture coming on in, at least at the upper levels. Significant fire potential. Our fuel still dry. There is a concern that the wind speeds will be quite strong here, and humidity will be coming up. And notice these winds here, gusting at 30 to 45 miles per hour in those purple shades. Humidity in Nevada coming up from the single digits to perhaps the low to mid-teens and probably near 20%. And shortly thereafter, rain should begin to fall, but it'll be probably that initial period on Sunday that we could see. There's a brief window if a fire does ignite that it could run a little bit in the dormant fuels. However, the 3-day precipitation accumulation from Friday morning through Monday morning indicates that precipitation will begin to fall in those areas where our fuels are currently the driest. Taking a further look down the road, wetness continues across much of our area on Monday. See areas in green here on the left-hand side under the influence of this very deep storm system off the Pacific Northwest. Notice those yellows and browns have really started to blend into the green as our fuels become moistened up. Then as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, high pressure briefly builds in with drying, but that's just a kind of a teaser because there's a storm system off the California coast pulling up lots of tropical moisture from the south, and you'll see it here by Thursday pulling up another big swath of moisture into all of California and into our southern, more drier areas, so our fire potential remains low through here. And with that wetness next week, you can see that a lot of our wetter areas from a lot of our drier fuels will be getting quite a bit of wetness on the Arizona Strip through Utah. The dark green to blues indicate a quarter-inch to a half-inch, locally higher amounts. And of course, any rainfall up in our northern areas is just icing on the cake. They're already too moist for any large fire activity. And the 8 to 14-day outlook, which takes us into the end of October and into the first week of November, a much cooler than normal signal pretty far south across central California. Storm track shifts from the Pacific Northwest down into California. That's why the above normal outlook for precipitation covers those areas and covers just about the entire Great Basin with a cooler and more moist pattern, which should basically make things not favorable for any additional fires like we had earlier in this week. It also might even make prescribed burning a bit difficult if fuels are too moist. So this concludes our briefing. Have a great weekend, and again, this will be our last fire potential briefing. We will resume our smoke dispersion briefings this coming Monday. Have a great day.